What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are on the test server here, and then we're going to get a quick sneak peek at what's to come here. We got a couple new champions in the mix. One of them being the upcoming fusion that's going to be happening on the 20th, so that's going to be on Thursday. Two other champions will be joining the fusion with that update. I'm going to show you guys the preview here. Let's take a quick look. One of them is going to be a mythical champion, and that's going to be somewhere here. Bannerlords, yes. Joan the Illuminate. Joan the Illuminate. Looks kind of like, I don't know if you guys watched the series The Witcher on the Netflix, but doesn't this portrait image look exactly like Ciri? Like that character, blonde hair, everything. Even like, yeah, it just looks exactly the same. But Raid is no stranger to taking personal faces and putting them on their characters. But we have Joan the Illuminate here. Very banner-esque kind of style. Looks cool. I mean, you know, she looks cool. She looks like maybe Raglan, if Raglan took off her helmet and then put a crown on her head. But yeah, she looks neat. Nice base stats overall, 109 base speed, nice base HP, nice base defense. Let's check her out. She is a mythical champion, by the way. Her A1 attacks one enemy, heals all allies. The value of the heal is proportionate to their resistance and 5% of their max HP. So it's proportionate to their resistance and their max HP. So two variables there. And it has a 35% chance of applying buff spread effect, taking one random buff from each ally and placing it on all allies. Now that could be really, really interesting. The chance goes up to 50%. Like, this is a very powerful A1. It's a team heal with a 50% chance of a buff spread. So you're very likely to get a lot of value out of this ability here, and a very curious attack and resistance damage multiplier here on the A1. Very interesting. Let's check out her A2. Symbol of Hope. 4-turn cooldown down to 3 turns. Full team cleanse. Places increased attack and increased resistance on everybody for 3 turns. Now that is pretty significant, the 3-turn here, especially for a mythical, because it allows her to transform using up one of the turns quickly. So she can actually buff herself and have 3 turns and then come out of it with the metamorph ability and then still have 1 turn left in her second form if needed. Also places a turn meter fill on all allies by 15%. Yeah, I mean, this is very, 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 very powerful, right? You have, like, for example, Freya or Donatello, they have team cleanses with 20% turn meter boost and maybe like 1 buff. Whereas Joan here has 2 buffs and a 15% turn meter boost. This is very, very powerful. And then we have an A3 here. It's going to be a revive on a 3-turn cooldown, single target revive, 75% HP, places unkillable on that ally for 2 turn unkillable, and then gives them an instant turn on that revived ally. Now this is also very good. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, single target revive with a lot of upside for the revived champion here. Instant turn with the unkillable. Very, very nice. And then quickly checking out her passive here. Passive effect, increase all allies damage against enemies whose resistance is lower than theirs by 15%. So if you have increased resistance on your group, you're likely to have just a blanket 15% damage boost. That's kind of nice. And multiple of these champions are on the same, only one will activate, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Passive effect, so it's always on. Active effect, 3-turn cooldown. Whenever an enemy is revived, instantly activates Faith Restored. So that's going to be the A3. So you instantly activate 1 revive on your ally, on a random dead ally. If no dead allies are alive, instantly activate Symbol of Hope. So that's going to be the A2. So you instantly cleanse and then increase attack, increase resistance, and turn meter boost. If there are multiple blah, 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 only 1 will activate it. Okay. So 3-turn cooldown on that. So if an enemy revives, then you either get a revived ally back with an instant turn, or you get a full team cleanse, increase attack, increase resistance, and a turn meter fill. Wow. I mean, yeah, that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. Too bad she doesn't have like some kind of revive on death on herself or something, because there's nothing really stopping you from, you know, going first and just nuking her dead, right? Like, there's nothing really stopping you there. I would imagine that turn order matters for her revive ability, her revive passive. So if you put her as a last champion, then she will revive the first champion. If it dies first to like an AoE, then you might get the trigger first. I think that's how it works. I don't know. It would require some testing, but it would be interesting. You definitely don't want to place her up in the front. You probably want to place her near the end so that all the effects can resolve, and then some of her abilities can happen. I think that's how it works. But interesting kit going into her aura resistance in all battles by 80 is pretty standard. I mean, her A1 is super strong. That's the standout here. Her A1 is very strong. I mean, her A2 is very strong as well, and her A3 is very strong. It's just the overall kit, I think, for a mythical. She's not OP. She's not OP, right? And like when you pull a mythical, you kind of want them to be OP. Yeah, she's definitely missing something just to keep herself alive in her base form. Let's transform and see what's going on here. She turns into a wow. She looks awesome. She looks kind of like Mercy from Overwatch. If you guys play that game, with the the dagger wings and all that stuff. Attack based 15-20 base attack. Not crazy, but not too terrible. A little bit slow. Got the boosted crit damage now. Let's take a look at what she can do. Her A1 is an AoE. Attacks all enemies. This attack deals single target damage to each target individually rather than AoE damage. Whenever this champion counterattacks, increase the ignore defense effect of this skill by 5%. It stacks up to 25%, so it has to attack 5 times to reach the maximum. Okay. Passive effect deals double damage when counterattacking. Okay. Again, 2 multipliers here, attack and resistance. That's a pretty powerful A1, especially if you can get the counterattack going off on her. Let's see what she can do for the counterattack stuff. A2, Pierce by Light. 4 turn cooldown down to 3 turns. Attacks all enemies before attacking. Steals 25% of each enemy's turn meter. This effect cannot be resisted. That's awesome. No conditions, cannot be resisted. No accuracy needed. So just straight steal 25% of the enemy's turn meter. The damage inflicted by the skill increases by 35% against enemies whose resistance is lower than this champion. So most likely you will have higher resistance. So most likely you'll just get a flat 35% damage boost. Then places block damage buff on this champion. So she attacks and then places block damage. So let's see, A3. So she had 3, so A2, 3 turn cooldown, AoE, steals the turn meter, hits you, hardish, and then places block damage on herself. Yeah, that's good value. That's great value. Let's see how hard it, we'll have to see how hard it hits, but it's a really good value ability for 3 turns. No accuracy required as well. Let's check out the A3 here. 4 turn cooldown, single target hit, triple hit, ignore, shield, block, damage, unkillable. Will also ignore 35% of the target's defense whose resistance is lower. So that's probably going to happen. Wow, 35% is big. If the target is killed and has lower resistance than this champion, places block revive. If the target isn't killed, get an extra turn. Oh my. This is something, because it's very likely for you to kill somebody with this ability unless it has really poor multipliers. A triple hit with ignore defense 35%, and then you can already bypass all this stuff. You just can't go through Stone Skin, but you can already bypass all this stuff. You're most likely going to kill somebody, and if you don't kill somebody, you just get an extra turn. So then you go right into, right into this. That is super neat. Unfortunately, let's see. Okay, transform passive. Decrease the damage this champion receives from enemies whose resistance is lower than this champion by 15%. Again, she's probably going to have a high resistance because that's just going to be the way you build her most likely. And yeah, she's going to get a flat 15% damage reduction. And then place on this champion protected counterattack buff for 1 turn at the end of their turn. So she always gets the counterattack buff to start the turn after her first turn. So her first turn, she doesn't get it, but afterwards she does get it at the end of her turn. So she always gets it. Okay, that's great. I mean, she passively places on herself. She synergizes here. And her A1's really, should be really strong. It seems like double damage as well. Oh my. Yeah, this is a pretty cool champion. I mean, first of all, her base form, you probably want to build her, as a general support champion, high HP, probably with some resistance so that she can use her cleanse and revive. I mean, you have the best abilities here for a support champion. You have a full cleanse and then a turn meter boost as well. And then you have a revive here as well. And then you got more healing on the A1 and then more revive shenanigans here as well. So you build her out with some resistance, and then even if her first form somehow gets locked out, you transform into this form, and now she can actually deal quite a bit of damage. She can straight up just nuke one champion dead with this ability, perhaps. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I still am hesitant to say like whether she's OP. She's probably not OP because you can probably just get rid of her relatively quickly. Like I said, her base form doesn't have a way to cheat death, and then her attack form doesn't have a way to cheat death either. But you guys let me know in the comments below what you guys think she is going to end up as. Do you guys think she's viable? I think she looks great. I think her kit is generally sounds very good, but we'll have to see. Together, obviously, the sum of the parts, right? But overall, pretty cool champ. Definitely a cool looking champ. And that's going to be coming with the Fusion update. And then we have a second champion coming as well with the Fusion. And it is going to be from the Orc faction. Right here. Another Void Legendary. Galellut, Son of the Pact. Galellut. Galellut, I guess. Galellut? Anyways, HP based. Got decent base stats here. 99 base speed. A little bit below average or average. Let's check out his kit here. Beheading Strike, A1, attacks one enemy. Before attacking, decrease the duration of all buffs on the target by 1 turn. That could be cool. That could reduce or remove Stone Skin, which is always welcome. It has a 100% chance of placing block buffs on 2 turns. This debuff is protected when placed against bosses. Pretty good, I'd say. Not crazy, but not too bad. It has a little bit of a strip here and then a block buffs on a single target. Not too bad, but not great. He has a void affinity, so no affinity issues there. Let's check out his Ace Tooth. 5 turns down to 3 turns, 100% when fully booked. AoE, 100% chance of placing stun for 1 turn, 60%, and then decreased defense as well. So stun and decreased defense, and a turn meter push. Oh yeah, push back without stun by 30%. I don't think it's that great. Like, realistically speaking, like we already have a champion that does stun and decrease defense and AoE, and that's Odin. And Odin comes in with the strip, right? He comes in with the strip first, and then he does a stun decrease defense, which is infinitely stronger than this ability here, Galen Fury. I mean, it would have been crazy if it was stun, decrease defense, and it had the pushback without the stun condition. But as it is right now, I mean, like, yeah, it's fine. It's good, but it's not crazy. Like, Ragash has this same ability, right? AoE decrease defense with the stun. Ragash has that same ability as well, but he doesn't have the turn meter condition. So this is an upgrade over Ragash, but it's not as good as, like, Odin, for example, right? And then his A3 comes in here with a 4-turn cooldown. It's a team-wide cleanse with a pretty big heal. It's 25% of this max HP. So this champion's max HP. He has good max HP. Places a shield equal to 25% of this max HP. That's also going to be pretty big. And a 25% fortified buff on all allies for 2 turns. Now, what is a fortified buff? Let's check it out here in the info tab. Rolling all the way down. Oh, here it is. Fortified, near at the bottom, reduces any enemy ignore defense effects by 15 or 25%. So there's a small fortify and a big fortify. So for him, it's going to be the big fortify. So you're going to reduce the effectiveness of, for example, like a Savage set by 25%. So the Savage set ignores 25% of target's defense. So you're going to cut that effectiveness by 25%. So it's similar to Harima's passive. Harima's passive cuts all the ignore defense effects by 50%. So Fortify is a 25% cut. You know, that's pretty significant, I'd say. I mean, it's a 4-turn cleanse. 4-turn cleanse. You get a big heal. You get a big shield. Is the Fortify buff worth an extra turn cooldown? That's kind of what I'm seeing here. I don't think it's particularly great value. Maybe if you had increased defense as well, that would be kind of nice. But, you know, it's a Void Lego, right? It's a Void Lego. It's 2025. It's almost 2026. Like, you kind of need something a little bit better than this. Maybe if it was a 3-turn cooldown, this would be a little bit, would shine a little bit better. But honestly, I think, yeah, at this stage in the game, it's just not very good for a Void Lego. Let's check out his passive here. Freedom or Death. It's just passive effect. For every 10 debuffs, this champion receives, activates Blood of the Pact skill. So that's going to be the A3. So every 10 debuffs he receives, he gets a full team cleanse, heal, shield, and fortify. When activated in this way, the buffs placed are protected. Oh my. So every 10 debuffs he gets, he cleanses your team, heals them, big shield, and then fortifies them, and they're all protected. Shield and fortify is protected. That's a good passive. 10 debuffs though, that's a lot of debuffs. And it doesn't put it on cooldown, which is great. That's a lot of debuffs though, 10 debuffs. Just trying to think where you could actually use this. I mean, this guy would be like really strong for like hard dragon, I guess. Hard dragon lands like 5 debuffs in one breath. And then this guy would instantly heal, cleanse, and then fortify. That would be pretty strong. But I mean, hard dragon's not really anything too crazy nowadays. I mean, Nether Spider, that would be kind of insane too, perhaps. But I mean, as a progression champion, he's going to be good, right? He has some good abilities. This is a great ability. It's just not great anymore in 2025. And this is a good ability. It's just not great for a Void Lego in 2025. That's what I'm saying. But for a progression champ, he looks great. For an early game pull, he looks fine. But definitely not something an end game player would be looking for. Anyway, so that's going to be the 2 champs here. We got Joan the Illuminate and Galellut, the Son of the Pact. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about these 2 new champions coming into the game. Are you guys excited? Are you guys just thinking they're just filler champions? Personally speaking, I think Galellut here is kind of a filler void champion, unfortunately. And Joan looks pretty good, but I wouldn't say busted good, unfortunately. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching until the end. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.